Hi everybody, I'm Dick Silver. Welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. Today we're going to finally take a look at my fourth and final firearm for cowboy action shooting. This is the Rossi R92, and in sticking with the theme of Dick Silver, I have the two Ruger Vaqueros, I have the Stoeger coach gun, and this is the rifle I used for cowboy action shooting. And it is a 38 or 357, either one of the two. Same thing with the Vaqueros. I wanted to keep my calibers all the same, so I opted for the Rossi R92 because it's stainless, so are my Vaqueros, and although the shotgun is nickel plated, that's the closest thing I could find to stainless. Of course, none of them are actual silver, but the silver color is what does it. Anyways, the Rossi R92 has been out for quite a while, and for a while there it kind of disappeared. It faded away, like they weren't producing very many of them, and then here recently I started seeing them show up in the stores again. It's available in 22 different models, different calibers, different barrel lengths, different barrel styles. This one has a round barrel. You can get it in an octagon barrel, I think in 44 caliber. And if you count the Rossi Rio Bravo, it's actually 26 models because it's also a R92 styled lever action rifle. This thing is available in 38 357, 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, and 454 Casull, which is a pretty peppy round there, and I think it's in a 20-inch barrel. The capacity is anywhere from 9 rounds in the 454 Casull to 12 rounds in some of the 24-inch model 38 357s and 44s. This one is a 20-inch model, round barrel, hardwood stock on it, everything really nice looking. I did add the little leather piece on the lever there. Kind of takes up a little bit of the room in the loop, which if you're doing cowboy action shooting, you have to stick within their guidelines. You can't have anything too thick. It's kind of gives you a little bit of advantage, but this will actually help keep from tearing your hand up so much, I guess. It is unloaded, nothing coming out of it there. Got a side loading gate on it. Now, one of the things I found out when I first got this rifle was that factory loaded lead flat point bullets seem to misfeed whenever you would rack it and it would pick one up. Sometimes the interrupter would allow 2 of them to come in there and then would jam the whole thing up, which got to be a real pain. So I did a lot of cleaning and polishing on the inside of it. Enabled the interrupter to move just a little bit farther in and quicker, but it still caused problems with the flat nose. So right now I only load lead round nose in there, which you can't use any jacketed rounds in cowboy action shooting anyways, and these seem to work just perfect. One of the reasons I went with 38 as opposed to 45 was the availability and ease of loading and everything. They're really an inexpensive round for larger calibers. But really cool rifle, really nice finish on it and everything. It's not really polished stainless steel, not like a mirror polish, kind of like the Vaqueros I got are pretty highly polished. This is more of a satin stainless. Now, if you look online, they all say polished stainless, and it may be that the older ones, they offered a satin finish or a polished stainless, but this one is it's a pretty darn good looking rifle anyways. This one does have a safety on it that the original Winchester 92s did not have. Now, I've seen a lot of people will take these out and actually take a 25 ACP shell and pop it right in its place there. It's a good fit. They'll epoxy them in there, and it kind of just does away with that safety. Doesn't really make it look more authentic, but makes it operate more authentic without having the safety on there. I leave it on. You can leave it, off. I leave it attached to the rifle, but I leave it off so it's ready to shoot anytime I want. Good looking rifle, good feeling rifle and everything. I really like the looks of it. It got a really tall front post sight on here with a brass bead on it, and then rear buckhorn sights on it. Good looking rifle. Nice stainless butt plate on the back of it there, so it doesn't offer you any cushion, but 38 357s are not going to be a whole lot of kick. It's a pretty heavy rifle. I think it weighs somewhere around 98 ounces or something like that. It is available with a couple different lever styles on there. There's a bigger loop you can get on there. And this was also made by Rossi called in a model called the Ranch Hand, which was, if you've seen Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen, it was cut down pretty much right to there and no buttstock on it, just a little piece of it right there. And he dubbed it the mare's leg, or somebody, one of those old films dubbed it the mare's leg, said it's kind of like a hog leg, but not quite so mean. And I would love to get my hands on one of those and do a video on it, and maybe I will one of these days. Those are still pretty hard to find because they are considered a pistol, and there are some import deals with some pistols, you know, manufactured in Brazil or overseas and brought into the United States. Anyways, let's get this thing out on the range, get it loaded up, and we'll give it a few shots. All right, welcome to a very muggy, humid day out here at the saloon. I've got the Rossi R92 out here. I got my eyes and I got my ears, and I got some 38 special rounds out here. Now to load this thing, like I said, all you do is take the rounds. It's a side gate. You push it in there and then push it in just a little bit right there. Take your next round and push that one in too. You can push them all the way in with your fingers, but it gets a little tricky. Now, one of the things I did notice when I first got this rifle was that the edges of that loading gate, the opening there, were very, very sharp. And I just took a really fine sandpaper and just knocked down the corner edge of that, because that was, it would cut your fingers up if you weren't careful. Now, this is a 10-round magazine on here. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's my 10th round. Now that one you will have to push in all the way, or you can take another round and just give it a little nudge right in there. And then it's loaded up. All you got to do is work the action, work the lever on it, and it'll get a round loaded in there. Let's get set up on the target up here. I got one of the silhouette targets up there, and we'll give it a shot and see how it does. Okay, eyes and ears are on and in and ready to go. I'm gonna just take, let's take 5 shots center mass at that silhouette target, and we'll see how it does. All you got to do is rack it, and it'll push the round right in there, and you're ready to go. And I had the safety on. So the safety is it's a firing pin block on there. So when you did something like that, instead of racking the action again, you can actually pull the hammer back. We'll take it off safe, put it on fire, and now it's ready to go. Okay, there's my 5 rounds. I've got the empty shell still in there, so I'm not worried about anything going off. My glasses are all fogged up, and let's go up there and take a peek at it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shots. I destroyed the X in the middle, which is exactly what you want. Now, unfortunately, I went up there to paint my target again so you could see the impacts, but my can of paint is all clogged up, so it's been sitting out here in the heat and the cold and everything for quite a while, but we'll take some shots anyways. Again, I got the empty cartridge in there right now, the last fired one, so just rack it, pops it out, and these pop straight up, and it's ready to go again. And that was all 5 rounds there. All 10 rounds, 5 on the silhouette target and 5 on the steel target there. Now this gun has, even though I was in cowboy action shooting for a little while, I did not do a whole lot of shooting. I did mostly a lot of BSing with the other people that were there doing the shooting and stuff, because I found that to be more fun than the actual competition. Now you see some of the guys that got the old Winchesters out there, and they are firing very fast and the action is very smooth. This one is not bad, but the problem is it has not been really slicked up for a competition rifle. It can be done. I don't know how many aftermarket parts there are for these rifles, but I know I've held some of the Winchesters, and the action on those is, I mean, you can almost accidentally just rack it and fire it. Almost, not really, but it is that smooth where it takes no effort to do the actual rapid firing with this thing. This one has not been slicked up to that degree, so it's not quite as fast. It is a little bit you feel the jerkiness in it. Other than that, it's a great shooting rifle. Now, one of the things I do when I'm doing my cowboy action shooting, when I load my own rounds like this, and I do reload 38s, I like to do it a little bit less than what the S.C.A.R spec is. It is within S.C.A.R spec, but I don't do the maximum load on it because it's not necessary for cowboy action shooting. You're just shooting a steel target a few feet away, a few yards away, and as long as you can hit the target with it, that's great. You don't need to stress everything out. You can overstress your brass. These things I should be able to use many times without destroying them, no cracks or anything in them. And I'm not putting excessive stress on the gun, and hopefully it will last me many, many rounds, and I can continue to enjoy it for many, many years. Let's do some headshots on that silhouette target. That was kind of an attempt at a smiley face. Like I said, it's a good shooting gun. I'm shooting it all offhand, so I took a little bit of time with those. Like I said, trying to do the little smiley face there. He's kind of messed up, but it's fun any way you look at it. All right, guys, there it is. This is the Rossi R92. Like I said, for a while, it kind of disappeared off the shelves. It was pretty hard to find. I bought mine probably 6 or 7 years ago, somewhere around there, and I paid right around the $700 mark for it. I did notice the MSRP on the Rossi website is somewhere in the $800 range. A good rifle, very well made rifle, very nice finished rifle too. Now the prices are going to be dependent on the caliber you get, the length you get, the barrel you get on it, everything. So there's going to be probably a pretty wide range of prices on it. With a little bit of gunsmithing work on it, you could probably get it to cycle really smooth and be able to fire really, really fast with it. Not a bad gun at all, especially for cowboy action shooting. In Ohio, I can use it for hunting. It meets the caliber requirement and the barrel length and everything. You just can't fill the whole magazine with the full 10 rounds when you're hunting in Ohio, I don't believe. But you can get it in 44, which is also allowed for deer hunting in Ohio, as well as the 454 Casull. And I would imagine that 454 Casull could also fire the 45 Colts and the 410 shotgun shells. I don't know that I would try, well, I would definitely not try loading 454 Casulls in the 45 Colt version. Even though the round may fit, it's probably not going to be made quite as beefy as the one that's chambered in 454 Casull. Good looking rifle, good fit and finish and everything. I really like it, and I really should get it out and shoot it a little bit more because it is fun, and maybe with a little more action working on it, it might be a little bit smoother. Anyways, if you could reach up here and hit this button to check out some of my other videos, and hit the little round one down here to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.